Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? That's all I want to know. Can you hear me? Come on in the room. Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me now? I'm sorry about that. Hear me now? That's all I want to know. Can you hear me? Come on in the room. Good afternoon, y'all. Apologize about that. You know, when setting up and stuff, things don't always go as scheduled. But nevertheless, I'm here, and welcome to the Best of the 757 Community Talk Show with yours truly, CAPTAIN85. Just want to pop in for a brief moment today, talk about schools back open, and everybody, you already know what time it is. Trying to get the kids ready, get them acclimated for what's going on, and with all the other stuff and activity that's happening in the 757. Weather looks bad, but hey, we ain't got no control over that. All we got to do is prepare for whatever might come our way and let God take care of what he does. So was everybody weekend on today? Hope that everybody's blessed to have a wonderful weekend with family or friends. If you was traveling and decided to go out of town, and now that you're back, all right, all right, all right. That's what it's all about. You know, I'm just going to send out a couple of notices and then come on the screen. We got a few things to talk about today. And what I like to do is make sure I got everything in play. So when I hit a button, it'll be there. You know how that goes. That's the way it goes. Let's see, got that. Let me go back to the media page. See, the thing about when you're using this technology and they got to slowly move stuff around. And let me minimize this. Maybe I can do it that way. For some odd reason, I can't get it off the screen. And it's preventing me from putting some stuff up that I want to put up. But once again, we got some community projects that's coming along that I want to let you be aware of. That's coming up in Virginia Beach, and of course, the Virginia League of Women Voters celebrating Women's Equality Day, Voices of Leadership. And that's coming up Tuesday, August the 26th from 4 o'clock to 5 p.m. Virtual registration. And I'll put that, it's up on the screen now. But that's going to be hosted by the one and only Georgia Allen, the first vice president, chair of religion affairs for the Virginia Beach NAACP. So we want you to get that information and tune in, and with our guests and stuff, that's going to be on for an hour, and that's going to be virtual. You know, League of Women Voters of Virginia. So, you know, with our panelists, and we hope that you can support that by, I'll put the link up. I don't think you can click on this link. It says click on this link, so I can't, I might be able to talk to her later and get the link so I can send it out to you on Facebook or email so that you'll be able to tune in to that program. The Virginia League of Women Voters celebrating Women's Equality Day, Voices of Leadership. Yeah, and let them know that you heard it right here. We try to bring you information so that we can get ahead of all this stuff coming along that's coming about in the 757, and let you be aware that we try to be on top of things that causes us to fall slack of things that we need to get done and to inform the community of what's going down, so that's what I try to do. That's why I created this show, so that we could always have information to pass on to our community, so that we can always be available, uh, hold people accountable, you know, um, in the community, so that whatever we need for our future generation, and it's getting close to election time as well. We have to do everything we can to get our young people acclimated, if they're going to be 18 by November, that they can register to vote and uh, get to the polls, know where they need to vote at, who they know to vote. And the 10-1 vote for Virginia Beach is very significant to our community, because it allows us to have so many people to register to vote in the 757. And when we look at how they try to separate us by districts, it seems that the larger districts have the opportunity to get people, to have people able to come to the polls and vote, and we don't have that opportunity. We do not have that opportunity if they take away the 10 vote. They done did all the surveys, and they continue to spend tax dollars in doing these surveys, and filing lawsuits to change something that seems to be working. And if you, as a voter and in Virginia Beach, think about it. Look at how far we came since we got the 10-1 system. Look how many Afro-American people sit on city council since the 10-1 system. It's all about what we can do together, not what we do apart, but what we can do together, and to make this city, the largest city in Virginia. The largest city in Virginia is Virginia Beach. And that should speak volume. Because why? Because all that we can do is to make sure that we can power our community. And by saying to power our community is to make sure that we can do things in a proper manner and respect to the law and the law of the land. Seems like everywhere you turn today, they're trying to change the laws for one group. And it seems like it's always for the minority group that get the lesser opportunities, with the changing things in school, changing things with the military, changing policies for people to go to and get the education they need of higher learning, to try to make it that they can't afford it when all those bills and things are passed, but they are trying to take them away. So we have to be diligent in our mission, and to make sure that what we do is get young people that are 18 and will be 18 by November the 1st. They will be able to go to the polls and vote. But we also have to inform them of information so that they know who they're voting for and the purpose behind voting, especially in Virginia Beach. We cannot afford to continue to go backwards. What we can do is move forward. And those people that don't want to agree with what's going on with the 10-1 system, then you need to get them off city council. And the only way to do that is people got to vote. Let your vote speak for you. I don't dislike anybody. I'm not a racist. My mother didn't bring us up to be racist. She brought us up not to trust anybody. As children, when I came up in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, my mom said, if somebody call you to a car, do not go. What you do is cross to the other side of the street and make sure that you keep yourself safe. And my mother, wouldn't even hardly let us out of her sight So when I had kids, and I was a little lenient, a little lenient. But if they wanted to go to the store, which was right next door to the apartment complex, I said, no, I'll take you to the store. And that's what I did. My last son, Alexander, who's now in the military, he used to tell his friends, my dad won't even let me walk to 7-Eleven, and it's right across the street from the house. No, because whenever something happened in a community, it's either a couple of blocks from where you stay or where your children play. Is only a couple of blocks from your doorstep. I ain't taking no chances with my children. Never have. But they made it, and they are grown now. And when they have children, some of them do have children, and they're a little bit more lenient with their children than I was with them, but they laugh about it. But, everybody has their own rules. I can't tell you how to raise your children, my grandchildren, but I can applaud you that my son and his wife have done an excellent job. I have two sons that have children and two that don't. Well, the third one, when he got married, his wife had a daughter. And what happened is he helped raise her till she went to college. And that was about, at least, I think about 8 years they were together and stuff. And she went on to college, and I'm pretty sure that she graduated. But what I try to explain to anybody, my children or anybody that I talk to, when I get an opportunity to talk to young people, is to let them know is that it's your life. But we as adults have a responsibility, because the people before us, our ancestors, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, made it a tradition in my family to listen and pay attention to what your parents say, whether you like it or not. Today, some kids are off the chain. They don't understand it's for their protection. You got to sit down and really look them in the eye and tell them, hey, look, that's not good. I would tell my kids when they were going to school, I'd say, when I was working and, had a little extra money, I really didn't care about really spending money on myself. I really spent money in working in the community. I spent money in making sure that my kids could have some of the things that they liked and take them places and their friends. And when I was running Picasso's, I would take my son friends with us to the movies. I say, you got a couple of friends you want to take with you? They say, yeah, it's okay. Well, if they could ride with us, it was only a couple they could ride with us, because I had a Navigator, whatever, Escalade, whatever it was. So I had room. But I would tell them, tell the parents to bring them to the movies and pick them up. And I would take them to the movies. It might be about 12 of us sometimes going to the movies, because I got the neighbor kids, and, go order what you want, whatever you want to drink, eat, get it. Don't worry about it. I got all that, and when you go to the counter, I pay for it. And but in the movie theater, it's not like a restaurant. You can't tip the service in the movie, because they feel like you're trying to get over. I mean, business is thinking when you're tipping somebody that you're trying to get something extra, because nobody really stands at the counter when they are ringing up stuff. So, like I keep telling people, no, I'm gonna pay for whatever I get, because I'm a business person, and I don't want my employees stealing product that doesn't belong to them. And even when I had my management meeting and I talked to all the especially bartenders or servers and door people, security, remember this: we work for the public. Without them, there is no Picasso's, there is no Royal Blue, there is no Luxury Brown, there is no club that I might be managing. There is none. We rely on the public to go to work and work 40 plus hours. And hopefully, with all the event places and stuff and activities going on, that they will consider coming to our place of business. And for 15 years at Club Picasso's, that's what the public did for 15 years. And if you go to my Facebook page, you will see when I put videos up of Club Picasso's, Luxury Brown, when I played at the Heartbreak Cafe, when I played at Night Fever, is to show you the type of environment and the people that came in the clubs and the way they enjoyed themselves, because that's history. Because all we see on the news is that we don't know how to act. And I get upset about that, because yes, it's only two people when a problem occurs anywhere. It's only two people that cause that problem. You have to separate them, talk to them, and get them to understand you're only hurting yourself. You get out here, you're fighting each other. One might get the best of the other one, and what happens? Now you mad because you lost. You mad because he punched you. He mad because he made you feel bad in front of people. Now you want to go get a gun. It ain't gonna stop. But what we have to do is educate customers, educate as school open back up. We have to educate our young people. And my purpose of what I do is that, so that they can grow up to be as old as I am. So they can remember that, hey, somebody broke it down to me and explained to me what I'm doing. I might be mad, I might be upset. Of course. I was bullied when I was in school. My mom made me she always tell us to lay our clothes out before we go to bed, so we won't be rushing in the morning going to school. So one night I didn't do it, and this is what happened. When we got up, go in the bathroom, wash up, and because we take a bath at night. We didn't have showers back then. We take a bath at night, get up in the morning, you wash off, and you change your underwear, you put on clean clothes. And I forgot to put my socks out. Wrong answer. And it was more or less in the spring, where we wearing shorts, and I couldn't find my socks. And my mom said, you're not going to be late for school. So she said, I'm going to teach you a lesson. So she went in my sister's drawer and got my sister Bobby socks. And she said, put those on. I said, them girl socks, Mom. She said, yeah, I know what they is, but you ain't leaving the house without no socks on. So I bet you tonight when you come home, you get everything you need. So when you get dressed, you be properly. And I had to walk to school. We stayed on Portsmouth Boulevard. Back then it was called Gosport Road, but they changed it to later on to Portsmouth Boulevard. And we stayed on Portsmouth and Chestnut Street. And we had to walk to the old Brightening before they built the new Brightening. We walked to the old Brightening. Man, did those kids tease me all the way to school. Henderson got on his sister's socks. Henderson got on his sister's socks. He's dressed looking like a girl. Man, everybody laughing. You walking down the street, man. I know what kids go through. There is nothing a kid, young or teenager, middle school, it don't matter what school. Everywhere I went through something. But what I learned as I was growing up, that if I can't beat 100 people, so I would exercise and stuff and practice shadow boxing when I was a kid. And I said, if I can't beat 100 people, how can I beat one? Because if I beat one, that means he got a brother, a cousin. I got to keep on fighting, or he got friends. So what I learned in life, you don't fight at all. So most of the time, when I was in school and as an adult, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to fight you. That's what I did. I only got in a couple of incidences when I was a patrol at Riddick Weaver and Riddick Weaver middle elementary school over there in Portsmouth on South Street. I forgot the other street because Riddick Weaver and George Peabody. That was the name of it. That was elementary. I was a patrol, and the guy, in the morning, so I had to open the doors and let people in. But kids are coming like, can I get some water? I got to go to the bathroom because they had to wait till the bell ring. Okay, one guy, I said, okay, you can go get some water. 3 minutes later, he said, can I go get some more water? I said, no, we're not supposed to let people in but one time. He said, come on, man, I'm thirsty. Okay, I'm going to let you in one more time. This is it. 5 minutes later, he said, I'm going some more water. I said, you can't come in. I already let you in twice. He said, well, I'm coming in anyway. And I said, you're not coming in. So he's going to try to push his way in. And I pushed kind of pushed him back outside because I'm like a police officer in patrol, go back out. I ain't got to hit you nothing. I just push you back out. So what he did is punch me in my nose. And when as a patrol, I had to wear a white shirt when you do patrol duty, whatever 2 days it was. And I'm like, I saw that blood, and my mom already told me I've been never getting no fight at school. And I knew if one drop of that red blood got on my white shirt that I wore to church, I ain't have but 1 or 2 white shirts. And if I said that blood got on that shirt, my mom gonna turn my butt up. So, man, I lost my temper, and I knocked him down, and I settled him, and I was getting ready to punch him in his face, and I caught myself, and I let him up and said, go ahead, because I ain't want to get sent home, because my mom already told me. When we was growing up as kids, my mother said, only time you allowed to fight, if somebody messed with your sister, Irene, who rested in peace, my youngest sister, and my youngest brother was Mike. If anybody bothered with them, you fight them. But if I just got in a fight, somebody bothering me, I'm going to get another beat when I get home. I ain't never figured that one out yet, but it kept me from, I never fought in school. I always try to break up fights. And I always been passionate about kids. Even when I was a kid, I helped raise my nieces and nephews and stuff. So like I keep telling people, I don't like to see people hurt. I don't care if they're children or adults. Even in the nightclub business, somebody fight and I'll go break it up. I say, let me go in and break this fight up. And people are like, yo, Cal, what are you doing? Some of the ladies, they're like, hey, why don't you let them strong security do that before you mess around and with your old butt and get hurt? I said, no, I can do it because they're not fighting me. You have to understand the mentality of when anybody's fighting. They're angry with another person. All their energy and concentration is on getting that person. What you have to do as an adult is to get them to break all their energy going in one direction, just like anything else. It's weather. If it's raining on this side of the street and it ain't raining on that side of the street, why are you going to walk in the rain when you can go on the other side? So what I learned to do in techniques and studying and reading martial arts and taking martial arts for over a year more, that you learn to talk and have a calm voice and talking to them. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. Trust me, I know. I've I was managing clubs for 50 years, and I had my punched in the face, spit in the face, all these things, hit with a champagne bottle. I mean, it's just so much you go through. But, I know that they weren't mad at me. They just wanted to get to the other person. So if I can take whatever punishment at the time in trying to stop someone from hurting themselves and others, I'll take the chance. But I ain't as young as I used to be. So I do not get engaged in things, but try to talk and educate young people. And that's where the real adventures of Captain 85 books come in. I put in real stories so that they can read them. We can have a conversation about bullying. We can have a conversation about somebody talking about you or calling you names. You can color the pictures and get engaged with the characters, because the characters is becoming you. I designed the books so that the kids can read it, they can understand it by listening, by reading, engaging. When I first started this journey in creating Captain 85, and I've been doing it for over 30, 40 years and stuff. And I've been many places and distributed thousands of books and work with organizations in the other states as well as here. But what I try to get people to understand is, when you're working to do things in the community, you don't always get paid for what you do, because if God tell you to do something, the reward is from God. Uh, as most people may not know, September of this September the 13th, if I'm not mistaken on the date, I will receive a honorary doctorate degree for the community work I have done and the things that I've, tried to accomplish. This award is, I appreciate awards. So like I tell people, I got so many awards. I used to throw them in the garbage. Even when I was young, I used to take them and study stuff. And, they give you a certification certificate saying you finished the course. I'm like, okay, I don't need this. I tear it up and throw it in the garbage. And until I met Dr. Adolph Brown, and I was invited to his office, and I used to see all the certificates and stuff he had on his office on the wall. And I'm saying to myself, oh, that's what you do with them. I didn't know. I mean, I don't get excited about awards, but some today that I'm getting awards. And then I got an article coming out on the internet, and that the gentleman wrote about me, that'll be coming out in a month or so. I'll let you know when that occurs. That talks about the things that I'm speaking of today, and hopefully this summer, when school opened, that I will be going to some of the classes and inviting kids to be a part of some of the activities that that I'm putting together. And hopefully that this year I can find sponsors, because I am a 501c nonprofit. And for over the years, I've been spending money, but unfortunately, I'm disabled now, and I can't work as much as I want to, or do the things that I like to. So I will be starting a GoFund to raise funds, whatever you can, if you like to donate, so that I can give these books away to kids. I will appreciate it. They're expensive, but it's not expensive if they use the knowledge. I'm designing a program that will hopefully benefit the young people. We even far beyond the book. There's a lot of components to what I'm doing. But because of kids, we let the world take advantage of our future leaders, our future generation. And when it comes to doing that, I try to make people understand that it's not about me. I want to take time to acknowledge some of the people. Good afternoon, Crystal. She's become one of my favorite viewers and always chiming in. And also, I see my nephew. Congratulations, you deserve it. And more love to you, Uncle Henderson. No doubt, I appreciate the comment. What I believe is, in what I do, is what my spirit and my spirituality leads me to do. You see what's happening in the world today. They're constantly trying to find ways to limit the youth in the community. And my job, and I've been studying, and what I've been doing in research, is that the pipeline to prison is the only thing they don't cut down on. They do not cut down on the pipeline to prison. The pipeline to prison is free labor for the industrialized. Do you know that why you want you to go back to work in the office? Did you know that most of the office furniture and stuff is made in prison? Do you know that clothes that you wear is also made in the United States prisons? There's so many things they don't tell you. For the simple reason, if you knew these things, maybe you would talk to your kids a little bit more. Maybe if you tell them don't pick up that gun, because if you get a felony, it's going to be on you and follow you for a very long time. Once you get one, they'll give you a break because they know you're going to do something else, that they're going to give you 10, 20, or 30 years selling drugs, using an illegal gun. Like I keep telling people, you want to be a police officer, you want to carry a gun, become a police officer, go in the military. If you want to shoot somebody, but you got people shooting back at you. Our police officers, they're getting shot. But they don't give you the right to kill somebody because they shot back at you. Even they have to go through scrutiny and wind up losing their freedom if they're caught and found guilty. We can do better if we learn how to talk to one another. We can do better if we learn to show love. Love is the gift from God. If you say you are a Christian, if you say you believe in the scriptures, if you believe in what the Bible say, God is only love. That's all he is. That's all he will be from the beginning to the end, because God doesn't die. Why do you think you go through the drama you're going through? You're made in God's image. You say, well, what color is God? God has many colors. When you look at a rainbow, don't you see many colors? When you look in the sky, how many colors are in the sky? Can anyone put up there in the comment section? I'll wait. Tell me, how many colors do you see in the sky? Day or night? How many colors do you see? I'll wait for a moment. I'll let you figure it out and then I'll answer it. But as we continue to try with school now opening, we have to come up with ways and means to educate our young people to pay attention when they go to school. It's not a party. It's not a house party. When you go to school, you're there to learn. The biggest argument at the school board in Virginia Beach is that, why are you taking the cell phone from kids? If something happened, they got to call me. I got to get out there. What are you going to do when you get there? What are you going to do when a child calls you? That's the most the answer that you're giving. You can't even go into school. It's on lockdown. So now you standing out there worrying about what's going on. Crowd accumulates. If something happened, you won't know until it's over. So this is what you need to do. Talk to your kids before they go to school. Tell them what the do's and don'ts is for your child in your house, who lives in your house. Because whatever they do is coming back to bite you on your butt. Hanging around with the wrong crowd. Teasing and bullying other kids. That's what your main concern should be this school year. And most of all, pay attention to the teacher. The teacher is there to help you get an education. Because if you don't get that education, I can tell you where you're going to learn where you're going to end up at. You can't do nothing until you're 18 years of age. Don't throw your life away. Tell your kids, your nieces, your nephews, don't throw your life away messing around with people that's creating havoc in the school. Because you got a record. That's your record. See, once you go into public schools, that record follows you for the rest of your life. It follows you for the rest of your life. Stop playing the man's game. You think you're smarter than him? Do you really think you're smarter than the system? Ain't nobody gonna beat the system, especially one of us. Do you notice this state right here? Do you know how many prisons are in the state of Virginia? It used to be over 800 and some prisons in this state. In this state. 800, and I think it was 850, if I recall correctly. I might be either way on the tail end, but in the front end is over 800. All the laws they put in place. If you weren't working after slavery, our ancestors was picked up for vagrancy, lottery, like people hanging out now on the street corner, homeless. They put you in jail. And don't say that didn't happen. That was happening back in the 70s. Go over there to Elizabeth River. Go across that Chesapeake Bay Bridge. From there until you get up to all the way up to Maryland Pass. You get caught over there, they'll take you to the like a Mayberry place. Like a Mayberry place on 13. You go where all that cornfields and all that out there. They got towns back behind those cornfields. They take you down one of those old dirt roads. You think you're in Mayberry. Just like Mayberry had a little sheriff department with a jail, and they got a take you to the courthouse, little small courtroom. Yeah, the judge you right then, 24 hours a day. Can't tell me, because my two brothers got caught speeding. They want you to. They got speed traps. I'm pretty sure they still do. Because I was with my brother when he came to bring my car back. I let him use it for a couple of months in New York because I wasn't doing nothing. I could catch the bus, so my dad dropped me off to work. When we went back to pay the fine and get his watch, he paid the fine and he said, "Okay, can I get my watch?" This is what the judge told him. These are when these watches just came out. It was the digital watch. You hit the button and it light up, digital. Judge, he said, "Just what watch?" He said, "The one I left here when, you said I could get it when I come back." Judge said, "Oh, I sold that to one of my helpers. They liked it, so I went on and sold it to him." So my brothers saw the mark that was left on the judge's arm because it was the battery, had a little screw door that you screw off to put the battery in, but it'll leave a mark on your arm. He said, "Judge, You got the mark. The judge said, what did I say, sir? He said, let's do it this way. I said I sold it to my helper. Or would you like to spend 30 or 60 days in jail? Which one you prefer? That's what this story my brother told me. He was mad. He was mad at I don't know what. That was a $700 watch. Well, either that, my other brother, Dr. Vaughn, is coming back, same from New York. Pulled him over because he was speeding. He was by himself. He called my mother and said, hey, I need some money to get out of jail. They caught me speeding and I need $400 to get out. And my mom said, I don't got that kind of money. She said, but you're going to have to wait. I'll go get it from my aunt, your sister, your aunt, and my sister to see if she got it. So my brother called back and said, hey, well, that's okay. The judge said all I got to do is stay in jail and work for 30 days. 30 days I could work it all. My mom said, no. So she got the money and wired it to him. And once she wired, she called him and the judge checked and it was there. So he let him go. So there's so many traps for our young people. All you got to do is tell your kids, pay attention to the teacher. No talking back. Because if you get talking back, you're going to get smacked when you get home. And I'm going to smack you real hard. I'm going to do something to you that ain't nobody going to be able to stop it. But, oh, I forgot. They passed the law if you be too forceful on your child. It's called child abuse. And then they can put you in jail. So notice that laws are in place to protect who? Who is it protecting? We stay in a world that will destroy us if we let it. That's why we have to talk to young people and get them to understand. Pay attention to your teacher. Don't be arguing with her. Don't be yelling or whatever. Raise your voice. Because you ain't going to go down to that judge. You're not going to go in that courtroom raising your voice at the judge. So why would you do it at your teacher? If you got a dad home, you ain't going to raise your voice at your dad. Because if you did, you're going to be picking your teeth up off the floor. And in some single parents where there's just a mother, you might pick your head up off the floor. Because I had a deep voice when I was growing up. If my octave changed, my mama hit me in the head with a shoe shine brush. Said, now who you think you're raising your voice at? But I learned how to tone it down a little bit. Because if I get excited, people think, even today when I do my radio show or talking to people, they think, why are you yelling? I'm not yelling. It's just my voice. It just elevates itself. You know, I just have to stay calm and talk in a manner like I'm talking now. But young people needs to know these things. So hopefully that I'm going to, get with this school principals and visit some of the elementary schools or middle schools to talk to the kids, share with them my, as a fine art majors, take some of my paintings, whether or not we can get sponsors for the books, to give them books and to give it to the teachers at the books and let them be able to do. It's a lesson. Everything is designed. It's not just a book, coloring book. It's to get them to understand that they can use their mind to create anything they want to be. You want to be a basketball player? Then do what a basketball player do. Practice. As of this next year, Joe Smith will return. The NBA basketball legend will return with his basketball camp in Virginia Beach. And hopefully I'm going to try to raise money so that I can send some of those kids to the Joe camp, Joe Smith basketball camp, because it's important that we find ways to get our young people engaged in doing things that they want to do. We can't sit around and pretend that We just gonna let them sit there and play video games all day. I mean, there's money if they learning how to play. They can, I mean, most young people don't know if they're in high school that you can get scholarships at some colleges if you know how to play video games very well. So there's many things out there on the internet that you can learn to do well and make a living at it. You know, TikTok, you can sell stuff. Facebook, you can put engaging content up there. You know, I'm developing my techniques now for TikTok. I mean, Facebook. I got some on TikTok, but I haven't in it's just that it's so much, you know, I got hours of videos of people coming in. The Picassos, if you've been watching my page, Luxury Brown with spoken words, artists, karaoke, also the after work parties and the night part of the clubs to show people, hey, all that stuff you used to see about Picasso's or Luxury Brown that they'll put in the news weren't true. But when they want to bring, you know, whitewash and do damage to your reputation and your career, they can do that because the media listen to the police, monitor the police, and if they say, okay, all they got to do is just somebody make a call. Police come, the news is gonna be there. And most of the time, we are just trying to get people to leave the parking lot. Or when we was across the street from the other club, they have a big brawl over there, then those people running in our shop parking lot. You know, so we have to be diligent with everybody, you know. So all I know is school is here, and I am preparing to get in more engaged with young people. Hopefully I'll be out and about and talking to them and also introduce them to WVDM, the radio station. Why? Because I play a lot of local artists. If you watch and listen to WVDM on Facebook, and you can also, I'm asking you, if you have an Apple phone, download the app WVDM. The logo that you see right here in the corner, that's what it looks like in the Apple store. And when you download it, you can, okay, Crystal, yes, I love it too. Like I said, I like, you know, people, you know, reacting to the conversation, so it gives me an opportunity to respond to their comments, because it's not something that we all are responsible for the young people. Like the comments I hear people say, if someone was dead, if you could go to the cemetery and talk to somebody who was dead, what would you ask them? I mean, okay, that might sound like a logical question, maybe if you're in college or high school, if you could talk to someone dead, if you could talk to John F. Kennedy or Martin Luther King, if you can go to the cemetery and speak to them. Well, first of all, if you know anything about religion, you know they ain't in the cemetery. So why would you tell me to go there? I can't talk to a dead person, not in the cemetery, because he's not there in the cemetery. His body is there. His vessel that he walked around on the planet called Mother Earth is there. If I want to talk to him, I go to the library and get a book or look at a video or a movie or news clips. He's talking to me. That's why it's a speaking devices. Like I'm speaking to you now. You can tune in, listen, make comments, and I can respond. So why would I want to tell a child, if you could talk to somebody dead? I don't have to talk to, I know Jesus died on the cross. That tell you right there. Why would I go because a human died and I know he's not there? If you don't believe it, next time you go to a cemetery, Next time you go to the funeral home, ask the person, the funeral director, ask the doctor. When my mother passed, or my sister passed, or my brother, where is his spirit? And they'll all tell you this. In 2 to 3 days, the spirit leaves the body. It's no longer in the flesh. It leaves. If you read scripture, it'll tell you. It leaves, it goes to purgatory. And what is purgatory? Purgatory is where the spirit goes to dwell until God judges his life. That's what the pyramid represents. With the scale, it's called the scale of life. One is up and one is down. That's why they have blind justice. Why? Because justice is blind. You weren't there. We got evidence that you did it. We got witnesses said you did it. But justice is blind still. So all these things that you see that dictates your life, you should teach your children to respect their teachers. Because the teacher is a human being. She sat in that same seat. Well, maybe not the same desk, but similar to that desk. She sat there. From kindergarten to elementary school, to middle school to high school, to college, community college, to a university, and beyond, still learning. One thing you learn about martial arts, why you get master degrees in school. You know what that word means? Y'all professional people, y'all that may not have a degree or went to college, a master degree means one thing: one who never stops learning. Because I learned that because I studied martial arts. Martial arts is a master of different techniques, different ways of attacking and protecting yourself. And then even once you learn to use these are lethal weapons. They become lethal weapons. You have to register them with the police at certain degrees of belts. You can take a person's life just with this, just with your hands, just with your hands. If you know where to hit them, if you know where to touch them. We all have a responsibility for the next generation that's just entering back into school to talk to them. Yeah, they may not want to hear it. Yeah, you can't tell me who. I'm grown now. No, you're not grown until you get out on your own. Once you step across that door sill, if you think you're grown and can't abide by my rules and regulations, then you won't be in this house. You grown. Get out on your own. When you get out there, you're gonna wish 1,000 times. You wish 1,000 times that you listen. I love kids, but if my kids disobeyed me or their mothers, like they say, all hell is gonna break loose, and I will go to jail. I don't care. But why? Because I'm not gonna let the system put their hands on you. I'm gonna do what it takes to get your attention. Because once the system put their hands on you, what do you expect me to do? Ask your child that if they're not paying attention to the teacher. What do you expect me to do? Yeah, of course. I done been to PTA meetings, been sitting in the principal office waiting to see you. Parents coming, hey, look, I'm getting sick and tired of this teacher. Well, maybe the teacher's getting sick or tired of you not coming to the PTA meeting and finding out what your child is not doing in class. My wife was vice president of the PTA in Virginia Beach when our kids was in school. I went to PTA meetings when I wasn't working to see what my children were doing. And they already know. I don't say it but once or twice a year. Don't let the teacher send an email or a note, or you missing or skipping class. I ain't following behind you because I know they're going to do their due diligence in sending that message home because you're getting out of control. I got the 3-strike rule like baseball. I don't do 4 quarters like football. 3 strikes, not 9 innings. 3 strikes. If you don't believe it, ask my kids. But now they're grown and then they can write. Then they can write because I ain't whipping you or beating. I'm gonna put it in your hand. See, I'm gonna put the punishment in your hand because when you hit somebody with a belt, it sends a real message. It's either me or the highway. And I ain't holding no conversation with you. And I ain't going to argue with you. Because if I tell you, as long as you go to school, get the best grade you can, everybody in an A student, you can be a C student, you can be a D student, and bring that grade up to a C. I know I didn't always get A's in nothing I do. But I tell you this, I mean, I got an A, but I know just as much as a person that had an A. Why? Because if I didn't get the A, I had to keep studying. I had to figure out what was wrong that I was doing. And then I get to spend more time with the teacher, and she'll tell me how to do it the correct way. And once I learn it, I ain't forgetting it. That's why when it comes to kids, I know what they go through. I volunteered to work with Frankie Stewart, the Soul Ranger. I've been having my organization for over 40 years or 50. And I used to work with him because I was a nonprofit and help him with doing teen dances. And kids, everybody got tricks. Everybody got tricks, carrying guns. Women with young ladies would take a razor and put it in aluminum foil and stick it in their mouth, put a razor in aluminum foil or stick it under their hair. Why? Because they were scared of other girls. Guys are scared of other guys because they're going to get beat up. Did they bully my kids? Yes. When they did, I went to the school. And I keep trying to tell people, when they just passed the law, and I've been talking about this ever since the 70s, they should be fining the parents. If they put a fine on the parents and hit their pockets, then maybe they'll understand it's your child, your responsibility. We're not here to raise your child. We're here to educate your children. It's your job to discipline them. I don't even want to discipline my own, but I'll do it before I let the police do it. I'll do it before I let somebody else child touch my son or daughter. Why? Because we are the parents. We brought them in this world. My phrase is, I tell anybody, and even my children, you did not ask to be born. You asked to be loved. God gave us children to love, to help them along the way so that they can become leaders in their respective community, so they can become leaders amongst their peers. But nobody's supposed to be bullied. Nobody's supposed to be abused. So we got so much abuse going on in our community, it's ridiculous. see on Facebook or other news channels about all the girls missing in Virginia. 30-some, 30, I think it's 30-some missing children that they ain't talking about. I ain't seen it on WAVE-TV 10, but it's in the national news. People on Facebook like, what's going on in Virginia? Why y'all got all those? What's going on? 757-804. VA 2 up and 2 down. There are so many things going on. We overlook. We have to protect one another. We out here arguing and fighting each other. They ain't making no sense. They ain't making no sense at all. I don't understand it. And I'm 73 years old. I've been breaking up fights since I was a child. When I was in that elementary school, and they'll say, why are you getting in the middle of those big boys fighting? You gonna get hurt. And I'm like, huh? Wait a minute. You worried about me getting hurt? And these two people right here hurting each other right now in front of y'all got a circle. Hey, look at them fighting. Hey, look at them. Beat him up. Break his neck. It's funny. Why? Because we'll sit on the sideline worrying about people looking, but not trying to prevent the people that are fighting each other from being hurt. I'm too sensitive and emotional. I can't stand to see people fight. I can't. I get emotional just talking about it. But I try to make it a joke so the tears won't fall out my eyes. I guess that's what Jesus does. I guess that's what God angels. There's no angels on earth. The only angels here is the ones that you can't see. That's causing the havoc that you live in. God got an army, a legions of angels. We are human beings. Read your book. Read your book. They done hoodwinked us and bamboozle. We use terms and words that keep us in prison, in our mind. Angels were kicked out of heaven because they were having sex with humans. It was against God's rules. And they was banned from heaven. I know it sounds good. Oh, you see the picture. Oh, that's my angel. Look at my angel. I love my angel. And the one that you can't see say, yeah, we love him too. We love him too. There's so many things that we don't know spirituality. That's why Jesus came in the world. We don't want to talk about religion. Oh, no, we're not talking about religion. Everything you do is religion. What I'm doing now is religion. I'm talking. I do a talk show. I do a music show. Everything we do is a religion. But what we have to do is educate our young people, boys and girls, men and women. If you want to live to be 73 and beyond, I'm going to be here till I'm 120. Okay, so don't worry about me. I'm good. That's according to God's will, not mine. It's in the book. You can live as long as you want if you're doing the right things. I try to do right things. I'm not perfect, because if I was, then I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be a millionaire. But what I'm trying to explain, because I'm over time and I don't want to hold you long, is that we have to get a grip on this school year, because the government is not playing. The man up there in the White House today ain't playing. You better talk to your kids. Or one day you come home and they ain't there. You want to know where they at. They ain't playing. You want to know where your kids at? They got a cell phone. They better be texting you when they get out of school, on their way home, and when they get home. You have to protect your family and yourself. You got to know who's in your house, because they can let the wrong person in doing the wrong things. You know the story. They locking up everybody today. They ain't playing no games. You want to play games, you better get them a video game and have them sit there and play that. But if they get in those streaks, only two people gonna win. That's the cemetery and the prison system. And you get up every day, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week or more. And if they can't respect, they don't know how to ask for help, you better try to find a way. We're not even into the first year. We ain't even past the first year yet. And you already see what's going on. And if you don't, hey, watch Wavy TV 10, because they always on your side. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Crystal. Appreciate you. Don't forget to check me out at 3 o'clock. If you ain't got the amp, you're on Facebook, type in Henderson Vaughn and go to my page and look for the CAPTAIN85 50-year reunion party. You can tap in there and listen, because there's a link that'll listen to the radio show. From 3 to 5 is R&B, pop, rock, the best of the 757 artists. And from 5 until 6, more gospel music and 757 artists as well. I'm trying to build a platform to make sure whatever they're trying to do, that they get an opportunity to use their talents before they lose their life. There's no game with me. I done raised 8 kids. I got over 13 grandkids. And I got 3 great grandkids. God don't make no mistakes. We do. We can do whatever we want. You got all the freedom in the world in America, but you just can't do what you want to anybody and think you're going to get away with it, because that's what you're doing. You're thinking. You better know, because the man is not playing. And everybody ain't coming to our rescue. Remember that. They can try, but the way they doing things today, don't let them tell you no lie. It's as they say, it's hell out there. We catching hell. You know, you ain't got to wait till you go to God, to purgatory. They doing it now. So that's the end of my show. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I really appreciate it. And pass it on to someone else. We need help. Our kids are depending on us this year. Don't forget the 10-1 voting system. The 10-1 voting system in November. If you stay in Virginia Beach, you please vote for the 10-1. You think it's bad. It's going to get worse if you don't keep that 10-1 in play. 10-1. Vote yes to keep it. You put it in play, then you better keep it in play, because it's like a basketball game out there. They ain't dribbling. They shooting. Bye-bye, y'all. Thank you so much.